In the next portion of this training video, we will go over the Phase 2 overview of the 21-22 Program Monitoring Random Validations process being conducted by the Federal Program Compliance Division. Phase 2 will include the following programs that are administered in the Federal Program Compliance Division: Title I Part A Campus School-Wide Program EdFlex Waiver, Title I Part D, Prevention and Intervention for Delinquent, Neglected, and At-Risk Youth, Title V Part B, Rural and Low-Income School Program, Private School Equitable Services, and Unsafe School Choice Option. We will now take a look at the number of LEAs selected by program. For the Title I Part A Campus School-Wide Program EdFlex Waiver, 20 LEAs will be selected. For the Title I Part D program, 20 LEAs will be selected. For the Title V Part B program, 30 LEAs will be selected. For Private School Equitable Services, or PNP, 40 LEAs will be selected. And for the Unsafe School Choice Option, 40 LEAs will be selected. The selection method for Title I Part A Campus School-Wide Program EdFlex Waiver, Title I Part D, and Title V Part B will be that LEAs will be randomly selected from across the state regardless of ESC. However, we will not select more than 3 LEAs per ESC to participate in these 3 program random validations. For PMP, we will select 2 LEAs per ESC, and for Unsafe School Choice Option, we will select 2 LEAs per ESC. We will now take a look at the program requirements, or the number of program requirements selected in Phase 2 of the random validation process for the programs. For Title I Part A Campus School-Wide Program EdFlex Waiver, 1 requirement has been selected. For Title I Part D, 1 requirement. For Title V Part B, 1 requirement. For Private School Equitable Services, we will select 4 requirements. And for Unsafe School Choice, 1 requirement. Please note that program requirement specificity will be announced on the ESSA Program Monitoring Random Validations webpage by November 30th of 2021. In summary, for the Title I Part A Campus School-Wide Program EdFlex Waiver, we will be selecting 20 LEAs with 1 requirement. Title I Part D, 20 LEAs with 1 requirement. Title V Part B, 30 LEAs with 1 requirement. Private School Equitable Services, 40 LEAs with 4 requirements. And Unsafe School Choice Option, 40 LEAs with 1 requirement. The selection method for Title I Part A Campus School-Wide Program EdFlex Waiver, Title I Part D, and Title V Part B is that the LEAs will be randomly selected from across the state regardless of ESCs, with no more than 3 LEAs selected per ESC. For Private School Equitable Services, we'll be selecting 2 LEAs per ESC, and for Unsafe School Choice Option, we'll be selecting 2 LEAs per ESC. We will now be taking a look at the LEA timeline for Phase 2 of the 21-22 random validation process. For Phase 2, LEAs will be notified via email by December 1st. The ESC, or the Regional Education Service Center, will offer and provide technical assistance between December 2nd and January 13th. The LEAs will be required to submit their documentation by January 14th. TEA will complete their documentation review by March 11th, and between March 14th and April 8th, TEA will contact ESCs to discuss preliminary results. By April 26th, TEA will share the results of the random validation process with LEAs via email. We will now be taking a look at the resources for the 21-22 Program Monitoring Random Validations process being conducted by the Federal Program Compliance Division. All the resources for the 21-22 random validation process will be posted on the TEA webpage. Phase 1 web resources will be posted by October 1st, 2021, and Phase 2 web resources will be posted by November 30th, 2021. They will be posted on the Federal Program Compliance Division webpage under the Related Content section. You can click on the link ESSA Random Validation Monitoring to access all the resources. The resources will be organized on the webpage by the particular phase of the random validation process. Here you can see the Phase 1 documents and resources. There will be a General Resources section. Under that General Resources section, there will be the Phase 1 timeline, a process overview, documents overview, documentation submission requirements overview, and the Random Validation Phase 1 complete presentation that includes all of the presentations noted here. For the Phase 1 timeline, if you click on the link, it will open up the Phase 1 timeline. For all the others, if you click on the training slides for that particular overview, you will be able to download the training slides. You will also be able to access a training video for each section of the training. Again, at the very bottom, you'll be able to see the complete presentation that is a composite training of the training slides and training video of the process overview, the documents overview, and the documentation submission requirements, all in one presentation. The next section of the webpage will include the program-specific resources. Please note that LEAs that were selected to provide documentation for only one of the requirements noted. If your LEA was selected to participate in the 21-22 Program Monitoring Random Validations process, please be sure to access the resources for the program and corresponding program requirement that your LEA was selected to submit documentation. Documenting overall compliance for a program requirement may require several forms of documentation to be maintained locally and available upon request by TEA and/or an auditor. To ensure overall compliance with program requirements, LEAs should refer to the program guide and/or other program-related resources that reference the multiple forms of documentation required to be maintained locally. The documentation requested for submission during the random validation process may not include all forms of documentation that are required to be maintained locally. This is a screenshot of the program-specific resources that are available to you on the TEA Federal Program Compliance Division ESSA Random Validation Monitoring webpage. If we look specifically at Title I Part A, you can see the 4 programs that are being validated in Phase 1. For example, let's look at the supplement not supplant methodology. The resources available for that particular random validation program requirement are a handbook, the submission packet, training slides, and a training video. Those 4 resources are available for every single program requirement that has been selected for random validation in 21-22. Looking ahead at important dates in the Phase 2 random validation process, by November 30th, 2021, TEA will post final random validation documents and voiced-over PowerPoint videos to the ESSA Random Validation Monitoring webpage. By December 1st, 2021, LEAs will receive email notification of selection from their TEA program managers. The ESC contacts will be copied as well. Between December 2nd, 2021 and January 13th, 2022, ESCs will offer and provide technical assistance to LEAs that have been selected for any particular program validation. And by January 14th, 2022, LEAs are to submit their documentation to TEA via TEAL and ESSA reports. This concludes the presentation of the 2021-2022 Program Monitoring Random Validations process being conducted by the Federal Program Compliance Division at the Texas Education Agency. Please feel free to contact us if you have any questions. You can reach us by our division phone number at 512-463-9499 or by our division email address, which is essasupport@tea.texas.gov. Thank you.